Bitcoin is above $67,000. Where's it headed to next? Also, it's been very clear and concise that any sort of token appreciation is coming from actual utility and use case. So we're going to talk about Hyperliquid today. We're going to talk about Hedera today. Also, BlackRock buys Uniswap token. Is it too late to get into Uniswap for another potential pump? We're going to have that discussion. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Gina, you know what to do.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment focus. We do it better than other channels do. Crypto channel. Oh boy, you know, you started the week off at 70,000. Some people were on the fence. We thought it was a nice little bump. You know, we were gonna jump back up over 70,000. Here we are, and it seems like.
Why are you so close to me?
So close.
Go back to the white shot, Gina. You're too close, man.
I don't understand.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
I like your haircut. You didn't get a haircut.
I did not. No.
You look very schoolboy today.
Okay.
It's not a negative thing. It's very like you look clean shaved. You know, your hair is done the way I used to do it in middle school. That I still do today, actually. Believe it or not, I have not changed my hairstyle since like the 5th grade. I tried a faux hawk once, and then my dad yelled at me and said, "What are you doing? You look like an idiot." I said, "Dad, I'm sorry." Anyways, what were we saying?
I have no idea what I was saying.
All right. Bitcoin, 67,000. You said we started off the week at 70. You know, I had a limit short order in. We didn't get tapped in on this candle. Or excuse me, this candle. I'm on the 5-minute. And then we started pushing back up again. I was like, you know what? We're knocking on this door 2-3 times. We're probably going to break above it. That's that VWAP mid-band. So I canceled my limit order. And, you know, if I would have held that, I would have been in the profit now. But I try to get into trades that have a high probability of hitting. And so didn't get into this one, but we'll look for another one. And we'll definitely look for more on the trading show. But Bitcoin got all the way down this morning to $65,715. Jobs numbers came out. They're abysmal. Everyone's freaking out, panicking. There's all these AI articles out there talking about how AI is just going to completely take over the world and we're all screwed. And it's a lot of fear and FUD in the markets. And yeah. Good.
Yeah, I was reading that AI article. and like I still don't see it. Like, did you read that article?
Yeah, well, I didn't finish it, but I read a vast majority of it.
Yeah, so somebody that works in AI related field, not high enough to make the decisions, but he's basically had a memo saying that the world's over, the AI is taking over, and his job is gone, and your job is next, and it's not a matter of years, but a matter of months until...
You don't believe that?
I just don't see it, man. I use, like, okay, like we have a pretty expansive studio here. And I'm just literally arguing with chat. Also, I go over to Grok, to Bar, like all of them. I argue with them. I literally, yesterday, let me tell you. And so I read that article yesterday. The same day yesterday, I was arguing with chat, and it was all over just adding more red to an image. Like, nothing complicated, just very simple. Like, hey, can you add a little bit more red? And it was retarded. Like, straight up.
Well, that's one of the things that the guy says in the article is majority of people that use it,
look,
they're not using the higher.
This one here, look, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm like giving it massive instructions. Here's the stripe. I just wanted more red on the stripe. I don't know what else to do. Double the size of the stripes. Same size. It's just red and black. That's it. Like you can't, like a kid can draw this. And this is supposed to take my job over. And they're all the same. They're all the same.
That's not true. The last one was thicker. This one.
Ask ChatGPT how many R's are in the word strawberry right now. Ask it. How many R's
Oh, I was like, what are we looking at?
are in the word strawberry?
We're looking at Gina's chair and Gina's green sweatshirt.
My mic is over here.
Fair enough. Oh, it doesn't have we don't have the one that drags over?
It says there's
Wait,
three.
no, they fixed it. It used to say 2. It like doesn't know. Okay, well never mind.
See, AI got
Whatever.
better.
Also, your AI will give you different answers on who you are. So, as an example, somebody was like a big Messi fan, and then somebody was like a big Ronaldo fan, and then they asked the same Chat GPT. They asked Chat GPT the same question: who's the best soccer player in the world? And it said Ronaldo for the Ronaldo fan and Messi for the Messi fan. So a lot of times it's just gassing you up to hear what you want to say, anyways. And so maybe it knew that you were going to ask about the 3 R's, not being 3 R's, only being 2. And maybe it, yeah. Anyways, I got more of that image. The same thing. I was going back and forth with Grok, and it's just like, bro, you can't even do the simplest of tasks. And then on top of that, there was a studio where I'm trying to like do some audio configuration. Just going back and forth. It's like 100% is the problem. Like 100, it says 100%. This is the problem. And then what happened? Wasn't the problem, right? I'm over here looking at our audio engineer, JP. What's up, bro? But it's like, and then it was like, oh yeah, my bad. I was wrong about that. And then five minutes later, oh, this one's 100% the problem. Once again, wrong. And so it's like, how is this supposed to take my job in months? It can't even do the most basic task. It can't even color in a coloring book.
Because you're using free ChatGPT, you got to use Claude, man.
I'm not using Chat. I pay for it. That's my whole point. I'm paying for the best service. Now we don't. I did research that there is ChatGPT 5.3, which is only for business level subscriptions. We don't have the current business level subscription.
Yeah,
I only have the 5.2. Anyways, which was going to lead me to my next conversation. We need a business level subscription, David.
No. So I do want to lock in here and talk about a Uniswap. Uniswap rallied bigly. The massive rally. It surged 40% in 30 minutes after BlackRock enabled DeFi trading of its BUIDL fund via Uniswap and announced plans to purchase an undisclosed amount of Uniswap tokens. Okay? This is BlackRock. I saw somewhere, let me pull up a Uniswap chart. I saw somewhere that it's a good sign that news like this actually rallied the price. Because if it didn't rally the price, well, that would not be good. And, well, speaking of rally the price, take a look at this. Rally of the price is almost all gone. This thing is down 23% from its high so far. So we look at this. I mean, it was a massive rally from open at around $3.36 to a high of $4.58. Now back down to $3.53. So when you look at something like Uniswap with the massive news, obviously, coming in here, we see that big rally. We don't buy these big rallies, right? But it seems like maybe that train has come to its next stop. This is a daily. If you go out to the 4-hour, you see that big reversal. Here's a 2-hour. Here's the 1-hour. 4 consecutive 1-hour red candles. We are catching some support at a high volume node. But I want to ask this question. But before I ask this question, I want to say thank you, Stake, for sponsoring today's show. If you want to learn, or not learn, but if you want to, if you want to get on Stake and win some free Stake cash, have some fun. There's a link in the description. Create an account. Thank you.
I want to learn.
So, Uniswap. BlackRock said it's going to buy an undisclosed amount. Uniswap rallies 40%. It's now down from its peak around 25%. Is this something that the people that were stuck got out? and now might be a good time to get back in. I mean, we're talking about the largest asset manager in the world committing to Uniswap, not just on a fundamental level, but on a token supporting, we're going to buy it level.
So you're telling me that people should FOMO in?
No, I'm asking.
On the big news?
The question.
Terrible.
No, the
terrible
FOMO
idea.
in would have been
Terrible idea.
This would not be FOMOing in. FOMO in would be at $4.50, but we're down 25% from the high. So the people that were getting FOMO that remain
You
patient.
know, I like what you said. It's up hugely. It went from 330 to 350.
No, it did not. It went from $3.25 to $4.60.
No, I know, but it's currently at 350. So it's up hugely.
$3.53.
I like that. I like that word. It's up hugely.
Yeah.
Very huge. You know, okay. Here's my narrative. What does the Uniswap token do? At its core, what was it made for? What is it, David?
It's a governance token.
It's a governance token. So for me, I'm not impressed with the fact that one of the largest, most influential companies that likes to control power and control things is getting a large amount of a governance token on a DEX project, because now it's probably not going to be so much of a DEX project. It's going to be more of a controlled by BlackRock project. I think it's a stain on crypto, right? In my personal opinion, if you're supposed to be decentralized, and that's the whole idea behind Uniswap, right? Uniswap was, hey, you can swap in a decentralized way without an intermediary, and it's done autonomously, between market maker and liquidity pool, and then that is now a facade. It's all fake, right? Why? Because BlackRock, a company that has no problem leaning into their over-leveraged power. They have no problem controlling things. Running a program that's a DApp that's supposed to be not controlled. That's supposed to be decentralized. I remember when we were talking about like a list pairing coming off, or was it a wallet getting blacklisted during the Ukraine thing? Anyways, we were all up in arms. We're like, oh my God, what does this mean for Uniswap? They're reversing trades or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact details. But in the past, we've gone up in arms because Uniswap acted in a way that was not decentralized. And now you have a massively influential company that likes to control and call the shots. I mean, they're the ones that mandated the ESG bullcrap. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Now it's faded. Now nobody wants to talk about MSG. A lot of MSG in that Asian. Anyways, the ESG now is faded. It's not a big of a topic now. But rewind 4 or 6 years ago, every company had to comply and be earth friendly and HR friendly. Otherwise, you're going to get penalized, and the world forces would come in and shut your company down, right? Now that same company is in control of a DEX. Bro, I'm telling you, man, I don't like it, bro. I don't like it at all. What does it mean for the price? I don't know. Could you make money? Is it a good time to buy? To answer your question that you asked 15 minutes ago, sure. You could probably make money on it. You know what? The price will probably get manipulated up. Is it a good idea to buy Monsanto before BlackRock got a hold of it? Probably. Is it still evil and I don't like it and it holds farmers ransom? Sure. But what I'm saying is that their track record is stained. And I liked Uniswap because it was removing that stain like a Tide pen.
Tide pens don't really work though.
They don't, man.
Yeah, terrible.
They're always so disappointing. I'm just over there just like blotting it and scratching it. Then I realized that
one time I used
chicken wing grease is just not coming out.
One time I used whiteout on my white t-shirt. You know the strips where you roll it over the text?
You know what I do now?
That was so 1995. Sorry.
I just take the t-shirt and ball it up. Just throw it in the trash.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
I want to.
But I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, investment perspective, Cool, sure, whatever. You could probably make money on it, whatever. BlackRock will probably rally the price. We're still in a bear market environment, so I don't know if I trust buying it at this moment. But you know what? Maybe 6 months down the line, Bitcoin starts to rally. Maybe Uniswap's $10. I don't know. But I don't really like the stigma of it. As a DEX, governance token now controlled by BlackRock. I don't know how much they bought, but there you go.
So it's an interesting take because everyone's first reaction is they bought the token. The token price went up. Cool. And then you bring up the point that it's a governance token. And that...
Would you...
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Would it be concerning if BlackRock bought 40% of the mining companies globally?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is a monopoly, and so I think you bring a good perspective in terms of, I guess, the longer term, ability of Uniswap to remain decentralized and to kind of remain in the ethos of what DeFi is supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of holding a governance token? Is you want a say in governance.
Good luck getting any say in governance with BlackRock holding however many. Godly amount of
I
tokens
guess
they bought.
short term, if you're in it just to make some money, it's good. Long term, I don't know. I think Rob brings up an interesting point. But from a price action standpoint, I wanted to throw it over to Brendan. Brendan, Uniswap, again, massive rally. I was looking at the chart myself, and I couldn't really find any good data on the higher time frames. What are you seeing if someone is watching and they're like, you know what? I think after this sell-off, this distribution, I think there's one more leg up. Where should people target an entry in terms of a big key support level for a Uniswap?
Are you asking like a place to move to the upside?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a big support level that we should see a bounce, that if people are bullish on this narrative, that people do believe it's going to go back up again, what is their A+ entry to get into a Uniswap long?
Well, in all seriousness, we're in the zone at the current moment. This is on the day. This is the daily candle right here. Look at the wick on that daily candle.
That's
right
what
there.
I'm saying, dude.
It's absolutely
it's
crazy.
erased almost the entirety of its move on the day.
Yeah, so I would say if you're going to get in, I mean, this is your premium spot, to be honest. You don't want to see it go any lower than this. I would go up to the 4 hour to get my entry, honestly. We're seeing, I mean, if we go up to the 4 hour, we see these two candles. This is a 4 hour candle. This is the second 4 hour candle. And we're seeing a bit of a movement to the downside. And so if it was me, I would try and get in around this area right here. I'd say at this wick high or at the top of this candle closure, this black candle, at 3.357. And then I would take it up to about, I don't know, I would say probably, I would target a little bit above this. It's a 20% move, but do I think that we're going to get all the way up there? I mean, it's possible. We see this wick. I mean, the top of this wick is a movement. This 1 4 hour candle is a, uh-oh, I messed it up. Just the top of this 4 hour candle is a 41% move. And so I think that we can definitely make, I think we could see this go to the upside if you just get in off of this 3.357 area.
Here's my fear, though, right? My fear is if price retraces the entirety of the move, like, I get it, okay? You're up 40%, you give back 30%, right? But we're almost at the point where we've given up the entirety of the move. Let me draw this out real quick. Let me draw my Fibonacci. We've already given up 78% of the move. And we close below it on a 30-minute time frame. So if it does get down to where it opened when this news came out, at that point, is it worth it to buy it? I don't know. For me, I would have loved to see a 50% retracement. I would have loved to see price start to bounce at the gold pocket, but we blew right through all those levels. And now we're trading below our 786 from this entire move. I would tell people proceed with caution. Personally, I am not jumping into this trade from just the BlackRock news. Now, if there's a setup in terms of technicals, that's a different story. But in terms of, the news, oh my God, yeah, I didn't get in on the rally, but I'd be careful. I'd be very careful. Could this be another David hyperliquid moment? Maybe. Maybe it will. But my gut tells me you gave up almost the entirety of the move. Almost 80% so far. I mean, we're not too far off from erasing every single percentage gain we had from this announcement. I would just caution people, be careful just getting in on the hype and the news. Pay attention more into the technicals. So that's what I would say. I do want to, we always talk about bear markets. Usually we see some exchange go down. Well, here's one. Block fills. Now, I don't know who the hell this is. I've never used them. I've even heard of them. But they've halted withdrawals. Husqvarna or Susquehanna. What is Susquehanna? You know what that is? I think it's a financial firm. Susquehanna-backed crypto lender Blockfills has suspended client deposits and withdrawals, citing market volatility. The Chicago-based firm, which serves 2,000 institutional clients, that's why I've never used them, and handled $60 billion in trading in 2025, remains open for select trading but is limiting liquidity. The move echoes past crypto downturns, including the 2022 collapse of FTX and other lenders. Bitcoin's recent drop below 65K has intensified pressures while stalled U.S. crypto legislation continues to weigh on the market. Binance has seen $17 billion worth of outflows from their exchange. I believe the time frame is since the beginning of February. Okay. Let's see if we can pull this up here. It's not. Let's see if it'll tell us the inflows and the outflows. I don't think it will, but either way, the number is close to $20 billion has flowed out of Binance. Good.
So why did exchanges ultimately halt and close down historically, right? In the past? It's been from rehypothecation of funds, not having it. You had FTX basically saying, hey, we got a lot of funds here. It's represented in our token. We gave our token away. We also had exchanges just simply losing wallet seed phrases, losing funds. And so I think that if the price drops, if you're buttoned up as an exchange, you shouldn't, there should be no risk to it, right? You're just essentially making money off of trading fees, closing liquidation if you offer leverage trading, which most do. And so that's really where the exchanges are making the money. They're not making the money because, hey, more people are depositing and we have more money on the back end. They're not like a traditional bank, right? Like a JP Morgan, Bank of America. They make money because, millions of people are essentially parking their money at the bank, and they don't have to keep any amount of money at the bank now at this point. But it used to be, hey, you had to keep, a certain percentage of that money in the bank. But now, anyways, exchanges don't have to do that. I mean, exchanges don't operate that way. And so what exchanges do is that they actually have a large chunk of said cryptos on their exchange. Now, do they all have it? Probably not. But to at least a degree that they're not going to go under, yes. And so I don't think that what we're seeing this cycle is what we've seen before. I mean, do you?
No.
So my concern though, because I'm not sitting here thinking that like, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows, everything's good. Like my concern are twofold. I got one is the companies that bought and are holding crypto as either a treasury reserve or as a portfolio, or just instead of holding it in cash on hand, or perhaps just a simple investment. My concern is that if they start going underwater, they might just liquidate their position. They might say, hey, you know what? We don't really believe in Bitcoin anymore. And that stigma seems to be accelerating. I mean, don't you think that companies, David, are not as bullish on crypto, right? Seems that the narrative is getting a little bit more bearish. I know the people that I encounter, they tend to laugh. I mean, the last couple people that have been here in the studio have been like, ha, like, how's Bitcoin doing, man? Wow. Like, and so just think about those same conversations that we're having here are conversations that people are having internally in a company, and they're ultimately moving money around. Right now, gold's hot. I wouldn't be surprised if people are rotating out of crypto and saying, hey, you know what? Let me get into gold. And so there's that position on companies. But the thing that worries me the most about crypto right now is all the layer ones and what we saw out of Cadena. Remember Cadena? Towards the middle of 2025, they basically closed up. They said, hey, look, we're ceasing this thing. I think we're going to get a lot more of that. I think that there's a lot of crypto layer ones, foundations, projects that were launched in 2018 or launched in 2020. And they were like, well, all we got to do is just make it to 2025, 2024, 2025. We make it to that bull run, we're good. And then what happened? Underperformed, underdelivered as far as the rally in the market. The crypto market cap for altcoins vastly underperformed what people were expecting. And there's a lot of companies that just never rallied, ever, like at all. And so if your layer one was there, you got a foundation with 40 or 50 people that work there. If it goes further down from here, if we're looking at a $35,000 Bitcoin or $40,000 Bitcoin or whatever the price is, can these layer ones survive? Can these layer twos survive? Could these roll-up solutions that nobody's using survive with a foundation of 30 or 40 people?
No, the first thing will be to lay people off, and then ultimately, you don't have any tokens to sell, or if they're still locked, you're kind of screwed.
You know who lays off? Large publicly traded companies that are trying to survive. And what I think has happened is that these companies have already laid people off. And you know who doesn't lay people off? Startups. You know what startups do? They get money, just like a fresh fire, gasoline. They light up, they get big, huge. But then as soon as it realizes that it's not going to work, they just shut it down. They don't do layoffs. They don't try to drag it out. They're just like, yeah, this one didn't work. And then they just shut it down. So will the bigger layer ones or the bigger crypto projects lay people off? Okay. But I think what you'll see more of is just straight up ghost town, pull liquidity, go to zero. The same crap we saw out of Cadena, bro. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see more of it if Bitcoin doesn't bounce here, which I don't think it will.
Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about some alts. So let's talk about Hedera real quick. This is posted by Altcoin Buzz. The new RWA King. Sentiment just confirmed Hedera is the #1 blockchain for real-world asset development, beating out both Chainlink and Avalanche. Speaking of Chainlink, just a quick piece of news here. Ondo's been a hot topic of conversation. Well, they have chosen Chainlink as the official data oracle solution to accelerate the adoption of Ondo tokenized stocks in DeFi. Starting with vaults on Euler Finance, Chainlink's institutional-grade data enables the use of tokenized stocks as collateral for stablecoin loans. So obviously, Chainlink's price is down. Hasn't really moved the price, but something to keep your eye out on. Hedera. And then I do want to talk a little bit about Hyperliquid. Take a look at this. Versus Coinbase. Data for Q3 of 2025. Hyperliquid, almost $1 trillion in derivatives volume. Coinbase at $840 billion. Coinbase does beat it in terms of spot volume, assets on platform, and then the amount of employees. Just take a look here. Hyperliquid active perpetual futures traders. We're almost at all-time highs at a time where Bitcoin is trading below $68,000. And then this video here, this is, I forget this, I think this gentleman is, whichever, another it's a Hyperliquid digital asset treasury CEO. Take a listen to what he has to say about Hyperliquid.
If you value it just as a perp dex, I think it's pretty fairly valued. But if you value it as a layer one, right, and all of the growth and network effects that can have, we think, yeah, it should be where Solana is, definitely. It makes me think of Ethereum in 2018, at around like $85 to $100, to Ethereum in 2020 at $3,000.
I also don't want to corner you into being, hey, there's a 10x here in Hyperliquid or something like that still on the table. But those numbers seem to be the midpoint of what you're talking about here.
I think the math checks out, Zach.
Interesting. He's saying if you value Hyperliquid as just a trading platform, it's fairly valued. But what he's alluding to is we should value it as a layer one. And if we do, it should be somewhere around the price of where Solana is. $45 billion, $7 billion. What's the math on that? A 5x? So what he's saying is Hyperliquid should be trading at around $150. Real quick, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes sense, but that's 100% if the rest of the derivatives stay flat, nothing else is essentially grabbing that market share, and Hyperliquid were to continue its growth. Derivatives move slow, at least from legacy platforms. It's not surprising when you pulled up a chart on derivatives for Coinbase versus Hyperliquid. Yeah. Let's be honest with you, Coinbase doesn't have derivatives. They do, but they don't. Like their market is so small, and even the numbers that they have are pretty comparable to Hyperliquid. You know what I mean? Like they're in the same league, but that's what Coinbase not even really offering it. There's no leverage positions. There's no you can take out contracts, but
they've expanded their derivatives trading, right? You can trade a lot more. It was really just Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. Now they've added a bunch of other altcoins. They're trying, but I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, but my whole point is that they right now at this current state, if the legacy markets and the crypto markets in the centralized form, which is the exchanges, if they don't capture more of the market, Hyperliquid will grow 5x, 10x. Like it will. However, you got to ask yourself, you got Robinhood coming down the pipeline for derivatives. You got potentially legacy finance. Your Webull is getting into it. You have Franklin Templeton getting into it. And as these legacy financial players start offering leverage, remember we last week we showed Ondo's platform for perps?
Yeah.
And so my thing is that I don't think that Hyperliquid's going to 10x. Why? Not because it's anything against Hyperliquid. I just think that the rest of the market is going to start taking market share there. And I think that the Robinhoods, the Ondos, the Weebulls, the Ameritrade, all of this crap is going to offer crypto leverage, and that's where people are going to trade.
Now, if you Canadian, don't ever talk about them again. Like
who?
TD Ameritrade, they're Canadian. Don't ever bring them up again.
You got a problem with Canadians?
I'm kidding. I don't.
Okay, cool.
So you're worried about market dominance?
Yeah, I think they've more or less saturated the DeFi market, right? The crypto investor. I think that's where people are using it, right? I think that people that are weary of exchanges, don't really trust them, and want to do derivatives trading, or if they just simply like the platform, there is a lot of liquidity on there. So I mean, it draws interest in multiple ways, right? It's DeFi. It's also very deep in liquidity, has an immense catalog of tokens you can trade. So, I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes there. However, how much more of the market can they capture? Who isn't already using it that will use it?
All of it. I don't know. I like Hyperliquid. It's one of the few that I would accumulate on like 20% dips.
I think the next 6 to 8 months, I think is Hyperliquid's time to shine. Yeah. I think even if the market downturns, it keeps rallying. I think if the market turns up, it's going to keep rallying. So I think that Hyperliquid versus Bitcoin right now is a straight winning bet.
Yeah, and the numbers say.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately, I guess, the bar or the measure, right? Can you outperform Bitcoin? And I feel very strongly on it outperforming Bitcoin, at least in the next 6 to 8 months. However, in the year plus range, that is where I draw the line. That's where I question, because I think that the market dominance can get taken very quickly. And right now, Hyperliquid is the flashy new thing that everyone wants to buy. It was very similar with Loopring last cycle. Loopring was like, hey, it's decentralized. It looks like an exchange. Everyone was buying it. And then it was the fun, flashy thing. And now look at it. It's kind of dead. It's a thing of the past.
Pretty weird.
And I mean, tell me it's not the modern version of Loopring, right?
I don't.
Loopring was a spot exchange DEX that ran on ETH. Cool.
Loopring was a layer 2, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it's apples to apples. Obviously, it's different, but I'm just saying that there are some similarities here. You have something that kind of came out of nowhere. It's capturing an area of the market that there is a gap for, at least on the DEX side, and so I think that that's something to keep an eye out for. I don't know. Very short window, 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, that'll do it for the show today. If you stay in the chat, you'll be redirected to the trading show. We're starting in about 15 minutes. Well, Brendan and I will break down some trades. Yesterday, I think we hit one or two. I definitely hit one. I hit one late last night. I had a limit order set for Bitcoin that didn't fill. That would have gone the correct way. But we're going to try to scalp some trades. So join us. Gina, roll the outro. Thank you. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Cash is Cuvée. Yeah. Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control